Major Hurricane Florence is now within 400 miles of the coast of North Carolina, and impacts are already starting to be felt. Good Wednesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Young. You can notice on the satellite imagery that there has been some weakening in the eye wall around Hurricane Florence. There's been some dry air trying to work its way into the system, and that's caused the eye to kind of fall apart, if you will. But don't be fooled. This storm is still very strong, and it has plenty of time to organize as it makes its way towards the Carolina coast. The big news today is that the models have kind of all converged on a general track. There's just some timing differences among the models. First off, notice that the GFS ensemble brings the storm system just off the coast of North Carolina around the Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach area, and then moves the storm system back down towards the South Carolina coast around the Myrtle Beach area or just south, and then brings it in for another landfall there before moving towards Columbia. This is the similar track that the European has. The European is just slightly to the south of this track. However, they're all kind of converging on this general idea that the storm system is going to nearly make landfall or make landfall on the Carolina coast and then slowly drift southward before making potentially a second landfall on the South Carolina coast. And the National Hurricane Center forecast supports that. It has a major hurricane just off the Carolina coast around 2 p.m. on Friday before diving it south along the South Carolina coast and then recurving it up towards the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina as we move into the Monday and Tuesday time frame. So here is the major headlines. Our confidence in the track has increased over the past 24 hours. Long-term hurricane conditions are expected across much of the Carolina coast as it sits there and meanders for anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, and flooding rains will be possible all through the Carolinas through Tuesday. So I'm going to pull up the GFS computer model, and it gives a decent idea on what we are expecting to happen. So this is tomorrow morning, and notice how the outer bands are already starting to affect the coastal areas of North Carolina. This is 5 p.m. and you can see that heavy rain and wind already starting to batter many of the beaches. As we move into the overnight hours, there is still some very intense rain all across, and then that's when the storm system begins to finally meander towards the coastline and potentially make a landfall as a major Category 3 hurricane. This is on Friday afternoon, and notice how it is right on the line of making landfall or not here as shown on the GFS computer model. And then the storm system is going to kind of dive off towards the south. That's the current thinking that is supported on most of the models. This is now 1 p.m. on Saturday, and notice how it has barely moved. Notice the continuation of the very heavy rain moving in. This is going to cause some very major flooding across much of southeastern North Carolina. As a matter of fact, the rain is even starting to spread up as we move into the this is now Sunday time frame. Notice how that the rain is really starting to spread. Also notice how the storm now Florence has made landfall and is now in the process of weakening. The bad news is, though, it is still just going to move really slow, which is going to allow for another rounds of heavy rain just to continue across all of South Carolina and North Carolina. This is going to lead to a lot of very heavy rain. And then as we move into the Monday and Tuesday time frame, the GFS kind of wants to clear it on out, but the European computer model is a little bit slower in clearing the storm out. So there's some differences in the model, but we'll have to watch that moving forward. With that said, there is some very heavy rain that is expected, and we're expecting very high rain totals. Across the far southeastern part of the Carolina, I'm expecting 20 plus inches of rain. I would not be shocked if some areas receive 30 to 40 inches of rain across southeastern North Carolina. As we move on out, most areas will see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain from this storm system. There will be some flash flood watches. They should be issued very soon according to some of the forecasters in the National Weather Service, and rightly so with these rain totals. These will be anywhere over a 2 to 3 day period, but the heaviest rain from this system will be right along the coastal plain, 20 to 30, possibly 40 inches of rainfall is possible. And on top of that, there's also been storm surge warnings issued all across from the Outer Banks all the way down south of Myrtle Beach. And that's because of the amount of water that this system is bringing with it. There on the east-facing beaches, including Carolina Beach, Topsail Beach, Atlantic Beach, there could be a storm surge upwards of 11 to 13 feet, and that could cause a lot of problems as we move into your Thursday and Friday time frame. And even down south, as we move down towards Myrtle Beach, a 5 to 7 foot storm surge is also possible. The winds will also be a major factor. There's over a 90% chance right now of tropical storm force winds across much of southeastern and eastern North Carolina, and the hurricane force wind probability continues to rise as well. This will be a very dangerous situation, and I'm continuing to monitor the storm very carefully, and I will continue to keep you updated, but this does appear to be one of the worst hurricanes that's ever affected the Carolinas, and it could also be the costliest storm to ever affect the Carolinas as well. So I'm continuing to monitor it. I will keep you updated with all of the latest information on wxjordan.com, and you can also like my page and follow me on Facebook, WX Jordan. Thank you. I'm meteorologist Jordan Young.